Welcome back everyone, this time we're playing as Andy, and Andy is probably my favorite character to use just because his moves are so fun. His moves are fairly agility focused, which allows you to be more aggressive, as opposed to Terry, who is a bit more hit and run. This right here is what the game calls Wild Wolf Power. It lets us shoot flames. Said flames knock down any enemy we may hit it with, and it deals about as much damage as the final hit of our normal combo. Andy has farther range when using the Wild Wolf Power than most other characters, meaning he's a bit overpowered with it. The Wild Wolf Power also has a secondary effect which allows us to shoot out a kind of flame aura when we block. That's very useful and it's very tempting to abuse, but if we do so, we'll run out of power fairly quickly. We can only attack with the Wild Wolf Power a certain number of times before it vanishes. It's a bit different than your normal timed power-up. It's kind of an unorthodox way to do things, but I like it. It just means that you really have to make sure your hits count. That being said, Andy is still plenty good enough on his own. Again, his moves are fairly agility focused, which makes him ideal for being aggressive. He does lack the spin attack that Terry has to help knock enemies away, so he can get in a bit of trouble when he's on the defense. The reason Andy is so good for aggressive tactics is because his moves bring you right to the enemy and knock them over at the same time. Which of course allows you to control the flow of the fight much easier. However, aside from blocking, that move we just used is really his only defense, and that works best in one-on-one fights. When you get yourself surrounded like this, the best tactic is to try and force all the enemies to one side. You can see right here I'm trying to do that, though Terry would have a significantly less difficult time with it. I still turn out okay. Andy's special moves are also pretty easy to chain into a normal combo, unlike Terry's. Every even-numbered stage, the boss fight changes to purely 2D. These can be more difficult because there's no room to evade, but we don't want to evade, we want to attack. Richard here can be kind of intimidating the first time you play because all of his moves seem rather spastic. Thankfully, one of our own attacks is a rather perfect counter to his jump. His second attack is far more menacing, he just kind of flails towards you. Thankfully, it can be easily blocked with proper timing. If you block too early or too late, he can easily take out a huge chunk of your health depending on what he decides to do when he gets to you. As you're seeing right here though, if we do manage to block it, we can deal quite a bit of damage just by going back and forth, and he's stuck inside me. Again, that is a pretty noticeable issue, but it doesn't happen often enough to be overwhelmingly cheap. So if this boss fight is any indication, Andy is pretty devastating one-on-one. We won't be seeing him again for quite a bit, so I'm glad I could show him off as well as I did.